Squid Game gave us some of the most unforgettable characters on TV, but you'll be shocked by who they were inspired by. In this video, we'll explore the origin of every player, why they were made, and what made them. Even the VIPs were based on something real, and disturbingly so. But let's start where it all begins. With player 456, Gi-hun isn't just fiction. He's a mirror, a man who lies, steals, gambles away his daughter's birthday money. He's selfish, broke, humiliated. But then, he gives his lunch to a stranger. He covers a dying man. He begs to stop the killing, even if it costs him the prize. He's not noble, not evil. He's just trying. That's why we follow him, because Gi-hun is us. Flawed, desperate, still holding on to something good. Crushed by the system, but not erased by it. The kind of person we hope we'd be if the world turned on us. Here's the twist. He wasn't made up. Hwang Dong-hyuk, the creator, said Gi-hun's story was inspired by the real 2009 Ssangyong motor strike in Korea, when 2,600 plus workers were laid off. A 77-day sit-in followed, one of Korea's most intense labor protests. Dong-hyuk said, any middle-class person can fall to the bottom overnight. But it wasn't just inspired by protest, it was inspired by someone too, the one and only creator of the show, Hwang Dong-hyuk. In 2009, he lost everything. That pain became Gi-hun. Not fantasy, reality. And if Gi-hun was based on Hwang, who was his friend based on? The answer is closer than you think. While Gi-hun begged to stop the game, Sang-woo figured out how to win it. He was the pride of Sangmun-dong, the math genius, the SNU legend, everyone's golden boy, including Gi-hun's mom. But behind the diploma, he was drowning in debt, wanted by the police, and willing to do anything to hide it. But Hwang Dong-hyuk made it clear, they represent the two sides of me, Hwang said. Gi-hun was raised by a single mom in a poor neighborhood. That was me. But Sang-woo, he went to Seoul National University, just like I did. Everyone expected him to succeed, just like they did with me. In a CNN interview, Hwang revealed something even deeper. Gi-hun and Sang-woo weren't just characters. They were real people, named after two of his childhood friends. Friends he called his inner clones, two boys from the same street who chose very different paths. One side holds on to kindness, the other gives in to greed. Sang-woo isn't just a villain. He's what happens when success turns into survival, when pressure becomes cruelty. And maybe the scariest part? We understand him. And if Sang-woo came from Hwang's darker side, then who was the old man behind it all based on? The answer had been smiling from the start. The old man with the number 001, the one who laughed during red light, green light, the one who held Gi-hun's hand in the dark. He was made to look weak, to make us trust him. But Oh Il-nam wasn't just a player, he was a warning. Hwang Dong-hyuk said Il-nam was inspired by real people in power, the kind who smile while pulling the strings, the kind who get bored and play with lives. We were supposed to feel sorry for him, and then realize that's how they get you. That's exactly what Hwang Dong-hyuk wanted. According to the creator, casting Il-nam was one of the most important pieces of the Squid Game puzzle. Hwang said, we wanted Il-nam to be unknown so that he would seem like the actual character in the show. He wasn't just in the game, he built it, and every lie he told Tia was meant to test us. If Il-nam was made to trick us, then who was Sae-byeok based on? She didn't smile. She didn't cry. She just watched. Every move, every lie, every threat. She escaped North Korea, only to be treated like a criminal in the South. She pickpocketed. She scammed. Not for greed, but for her brother. She was named Sae-byeok. It means New Dawn, because even in darkness, she was hope. The role wasn't easy to land. Hwang Dong-hyuk auditioned countless actresses. But then Jung Ho-yeon walked in, a model. Not yet an actress, fresh, brave, but raw. But her voice, her stare, Hwang said she looked exactly like Sae-byeok. Not polished, not perfect, real, guarded, like she'd seen too much and said too little. He told her, your eyes? They remind me of a wild horse, a soul that refuses to break. That's what made her dangerous. And told her, your eyes? They remind me of a wild horse, a soul that refuses to break. That's what made her dangerous and unforgettable. Because in a world built on fear, she still found something worth saving. Hwang Dong-hyuk said Kang Sae-byeok was inspired by real North Korean defectors. He wanted her to feel the quiet strength and deep isolation he observed, someone carrying her entire past on her shoulders. Sae-byeok doesn't beg, because even in a place built for death, Sae-byeok made us believe in something worth saving. The man who came next gave everything, but who was Ali really meant to represent? He lost his fingers in a factory accident. His boss refused to pay him, so he entered the game not for greed, but survival. He didn't show off, he didn't yell, but when things went crazy, Ali was the one still helping others. He saved Gi-hun, he trusted Sang-woo, he believed in fairness, even in a system built to break him. Hwang Dong-hyuk didn't create Ali from fantasy, he created him from reality. He said, "Through Ali, I wanted to show viewers that migrant workers are just like any of us. They might even be working more desperately to be recognized and survive in Korea." Ali wasn't written to be complex, he was written to be good. But in Squid Game, goodness is a target. And when Ali dies, we don't just lose a player, we lose the last piece of hope. But if Ali was based on a migrant worker, who was someone like Thanos based on? He didn't sneak in, he slammed his way into the game. Purple hair, nails like infinity stones. This was player 230. Fans called him Thanos. He smashed candy, bullied players, he thrived in the chaos. Why call him Thanos? Hwang Dong-hyuk said, "The reason I named the character Thanos, it was to design him to be a character fans worldwide could love. His casting, even bolder." Hwang praised T.O.P.'s comeback. It took a lot of guts for T.O.P. to play someone with so many similarities to his own past. T.O.P. was once one of the biggest K-pop stars, but his career was derailed after a high-profile marijuana scandal in 2017, which is a serious crime in South Korea. He was charged and received a suspended sentence. The scandal also involved public backlash, military service issues, and long hiatuses from the spotlight. He wasn't just a bully, he was a mirror, a failed celebrity turned ruthless player. But Thanos wasn't the mastermind, so who was? The answer: wore a mask. He wore the black mask, held the highest rank, and gave the orders that got people killed. But the scariest part? He wasn't always like this. Hwang Dong-hyuk crafted Hwang In-ho, the frontman, to be the system's avatar, the man who became the monster he once feared. Hwang described him as someone who starts with good intentions, then gives into the game's cruelty, becoming part of it. Hwang said, "We needed a new 001. I wanted In-ho to manipulate Gi-hun while pretending to assist him. In-ho's journey mirrors Gi-hun's fall, but this time, he never reaches back. He embraces the game." Hwang Dong-hyuk says, "The frontman, or rather In-ho, is just like Gi-hun, someone who entered the Squid Game with very similar purposes. He experienced all of the cruelties, saw the rock bottom of humanity, which led him to give up on humanity altogether. That's how he became a host. He didn't escape the system, he became part of it." Hwang put it the best. In-ho experienced the cruelties of life and the rock bottom of humanity. He became the host because he gave up on humanity altogether. But what about the people pulling his strings? What inspired the VIPs? They didn't bleed, they didn't run, they just watched. The VIPs weren't players, they were spectators, rich, anonymous, and entertained by pain. Wearing golden animal masks, they lounged in velvet chairs, sipping drinks, while betting on who would die next. No guilt, no fear, just boredom and power. They aren't fantasy, they're us, our darkest self. If power took over and no one cared. Hwang was inspired by the real world, by powerful people who turned pain into a game. That's where the VIPs came from. He said, "Donald Trump kind of resembles one of the VIPs. It's almost like he's running a game show, not a country, giving people horror." Hwang didn't just make up the VIPs, he got the idea from real life. But what about the pink guards? They didn't play, they didn't win. What did they